Hey guys, I'm back with vlog number 6. I wanted to add something to vlog number either 4 or 5, whichever one it was, that was explaining my reasoning behind, I think it was 4, behind why I resigned and why I left Dubai. I didn't feel content. And that is because one of the reasons is I just didn't feel safe. I didn't really rely on the news out there. I had to go on my layovers outside of Dubai to actually get news that wasn't edited, filtered, and tweaked in any way or even blocked, because most of the websites that would have the reliable news were blocked in Dubai. Therefore, you just didn't know the real story until you left that time zone and area. So that was a big one that I forgot. My apologies. Anyways, back to vlog number 6. Actually, can we switch sides? Please.
Why are you filming us switching
the
crazy hair?
Shall we begin?
Sure.
You don't have crazy hair. It looks hot. Guys, tell him his hair looks hot when it's pulled back.
Don't say anything.
Just kidding. Okay, I've always wanted to do that. So, this video is going to be a question and answering video. I collected some questions from my Facebook friends. Also, I looked back on the years of flying and the questions I've gotten during the flights, and I figured I would answer them for you. I bet you guys would be those passengers asking these. So, let's begin.
So, the first question is, where would you live? Where would you want to live if you can?
Alright, you just lost. I'm reading the next question.
Okay. So, where would you want to live if you can?
You answer first.
No, you first. That's why I'm reading the question.
If I can, I would live in South Africa, Cape Town.
Really?
Yeah, if it wasn't like so corrupt the way things are right now, definitely South Africa. But if not there, like since it's not realistic, then second would be Prague, because
not realistic either, so...
or LA. Those are the 3 places. How about you?
Okay. For me, it would be definitely LA.
Why?
Gold's Gym,
Right.
the culture there, everything. It's just feels like different world.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I like that there's the weather is really nice. There's the beach, like you said, the culture, like people are just so chill. And yeah, you have the gym there. So
yeah.
Did I say that already?
Yeah. What was your favorite thing about being a flight attendant?
I got to meet new people on every flight. I got to do groceries all over the world. I didn't have to stay in Dubai. I got to check out all the gyms in the world, hotels.
That's my thing.
It was like taste testing, like where I would want to visit for the rest of the life coming. So, yeah, we've kind of decided on what our favorite places are and where we'll, invest our time and where we're gonna avoid and never ponder like, oh, I wonder how it would be over there. So that's my favorite part, that I can like justify which places are worth seeing or not. I loved talking to passengers from all these countries. Like, I'm not talking about passport holders, I mean authentic people from the country. So I can like...
Wait, what do you mean by passport holder?
They just like immigrated there recently and now they have a passport and they think they're German or something.
Okay.
So like I want to hear, like, I love hearing the, like, okay, people from Hamburg and Berlin had like kind of a rivalry, so people from Berlin didn't like people from Hamburg. So it's like so funny to hear these things. And I also enjoyed, like going back to the groceries. Like I went to Africa and I would get a freaking avocado the size of my head and a freaking mango that I literally would just like bite into and then drink, like slurp it, because it was so fresh and juicy and just perfect. It didn't have any GMOs and all that crap, so that's what I liked. Oh, and free toilet paper from the hotel rooms.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't have to pay for toilet paper for like 3 years.
I don't think I can trump that.
Trump that?
Yeah. Anyway, for me, it was definitely that I got to see US for the first time, and then pretty much every month, at least one US fly, right? Then
You were lucky I never got them.
that, well, cause I paid for them, you didn't want to.
Well, in the beginning I never got them, and then finally I wanted them again, and I only wanted the ones with
Because you
you.
didn't know how to bid. Anyway, I'm talking right now.
You're such an asshole. Okay.
Yeah, so another thing, like Natalia said, that every time we're working with someone new, so for me, I took it the way, like, if I don't like someone on certain fly, I'm not gonna see them ever again. So every fly is pretty much like starting a new job.
That's true.
One more thing I like...
But the drama happens so fast too. You know how at like a
Not for
new
me.
job, it took like 6 months for you to realize who's a shithead and like snaky? Well, on a flight, the girls' hormones were like, you know, sleep deprivation and all that. They were skyrocketing. So it literally took like a fall of a hat for a girl to get emotional over something. Like, I had girls that didn't want to work in the back galley because the supervisor told her her uniform's too tight. And then the whole flight, it's like, whew, drama.
Didn't have that on the fly.
You're a guy.
Yeah. And another thing was that I didn't stay in one place pretty much. Like, Dubai kind of become a layover as well, where I got to see Natalia, right?
The
But
best
then-
layover ever.
But then it wasn't like going to the same workplace every day. No, you got to fly to US, Europe, Australia, all of that. So, yeah, it was nice to change the environment.
True. So, answered?
Yeah.
Moving on.
With a lot of it.
Next question is, what was my favorite layover? Favorite place to stay?
So for me, it was obviously LA and then probably New York.
Okay.
One of the reasons that in New York we stayed right next to the Times Square, so
Actually, we were pretty much on Times Square.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
What hotel was it? Oh, we can't say. We can't say. Shh. We can't say.
Best thing? I think? I'm not sure right now.
Sheraton. I think it's the Sheraton.
Oh, Sheraton. No. No, I don't
No,
think
it
it was
is.
Sheraton.
It is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite layover.
Sheraton Times Square.
Yeah, that one wasn't obvious. For me, my favorite layover would be probably the places that I would move.
Sorry. And Orlando. Like Florida, it's just amazing. You land and it feels like a different world. Like everything is so nice out of nowhere. You look up to the sky, it's blue, it's like fairy tale. So yeah, those three were my favorites.
You're an American boy.
Yep.
My favorite would be Prague, would be South Africa. Okay, Cape Town. I felt more safe there than Johannesburg. Durban, I got a scorching,
I remember that red
flaming
nose.
red bubbly burn, and like anywhere that I didn't cover, like I had a quarter sleeve, completely crisp. So yeah, Cape Town, South Africa, Prague, and LA. Next question. Okay, what was the least favorite thing about being a flight attendant? You go first. I want to hear
I will,
this.
'cause- Yeah. So for me, the least favorite thing was that waking up 3 a.m., leaving her at home alone with cats, and I have to go to work knowing that I'm gonna see them in 2-3 days. So that was definitely the least favorite for me, that there was no routine. Yeah, so even if I was flying, let's say to LA, I was excited about the flight,
Oh,
but
I forgot Seattle. I love Seattle.
okay.
Continue.
But you don't want to wake up at 6 a.m., leave your wife at home and just disappear for 4 days, right? So that was the least favorite thing for me.
Yeah, I was always like, Colin's sick. Oh, you
Yeah.
have a headache? Colin's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't get to sleep before your flight? Colin's sick.
Yeah. But she never did it.
Yeah.
She always pushed me to do it. But when it was her turn, nope.
I couldn't. I didn't want to get in shit. I had a good manager, so I didn't want to screw with him. My least favorite thing, I would agree with that. Having to wear makeup on board is not fun. I did not like doing that.
I didn't mind that.
Oh.
I didn't have... Oh, one more thing. I hate to shave. Before every single flight, I had to shave.
And it's every single flight. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he would land there on the layover, and he would have to shave before the flight coming back to Dubai. So it was like...
So that was annoying.
I'm so glad Bernardo's here for good.
Yeah, I'm gonna shave it. Should I shave it?
No.
Vote after you click subscribe button.
For myself, yeah, like I said, that was my least favorite thing. The makeup. You interrupted me. Threw off my groove.
3-1.
So yeah, it was the makeup, having to wear that, putting it on at the end of the night when my skin is ready to rest. Putting on makeup to go to work. Oh, that was awful. Like, my skin was like spasming, so angry. Having to be vegan on flights and serving, you know, chicken and beef to like 500 people. That was hard. Every time I had a special meal, vegan meal, I'd be like, "You're vegan? Me too, props." Always made them feel special. Sometimes they were embarrassed of it. They're like, "Shh, like, I'm not exposed like that." So, yeah, it was like mixed feelings sometimes. But anyway, I was so proud of these people. And yeah, there was never, like, you get catered on these flights, like us crew. So a lot of the time, all the vegan meals were given to passengers. Like, I had no options. I always had to prep my own meals for the flights and on the layovers, because not everything on the menu of the hotel was friendly, and it wasn't always safe to leave the hotel. So I had to like prep a lot of my meals, and they're always like cold. Sometimes hotels didn't have microwaves, and laying like sandwiches with peanut butter. So
They never had sandwich with peanut butter.
I made it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I was the
food
whole Cape Town layover on just sandwich and peanut butter because
Yeah.
they didn't have anything in the hotel.
And every layover was like you had to go out grocery shopping and buy something for yourself. So you're like spending money twice as much groceries in Dubai and groceries on layovers. So you're like broke. It was hard being a vegan. Yeah. So that's my least favorite thing. Next.
Did anything scary happen on your flights?
Our flight together, when we were traveling as passengers from Mauritius, the air pocket we hit twice.
Yeah.
Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
It was like roller coaster.
Yeah, and everyone was...
I liked it.
Yeah, except you froze.
No, I
Like,
didn't.
you and I, we were both just like in flight attendant mode, where we're just like not showing any emotion, but deep down inside I'm like, at least I got to see a beautiful island before this. We're going down. But yeah, we're flying, and then all of a sudden there's turbulence, and we're like, I hated turbulence that answers my last question. I hated turbulence being a flight attendant. They were always like, oh, like people were like, ooh, it wakes me up, or it puts them to bed when they go on rest. I'm like, dude, no. Like, this is when you're supposed to be the most alert. You never know how that turbulence can escalate. Like, we've had situations where people hit the turbulence going to Taipei or something, and the whole interior was like ruined, and
I think it was
it
Brisbane.
was
no?
destroyed. No, there was one to Taipei as well. My friend was on that one. She's like, literally, like, she was in the lounge, and like the pot, she saw it just like rise in front of her for like 30 seconds and then poof, drop. So yeah, it was scary. Anyway, so we were on this flight going back to Dubai from Mauritius. It got turbulent, and then all of a sudden we just started going down, and we were just like, and everyone on the flight was like, ah! like screaming. Sorry, cats. So that kind of like alerted me some more. What do you mean, well?
Well, it just dropped. It didn't go like this. It just dropped.
Well, if you look to the front of the airplane, you were like blocked by the wall. You could see that we were up.
Yeah, but it just dropped. It wasn't like... Bzz.
It was angled. Because I could see like the front of the plane was lower and we were higher.
Well, maybe that was when they were trying to...
I don't know.
Manage the situation,
but
the whole point is that it drops like you don't expect it.
And
it's not like...
Once it dropped, it started being more turbulent again.
Yep.
And then it dropped again. So like, alright, we're gonna drop into the ocean.
That was fun, I liked it.
One of those people. You're knucking fuss. That's all I gotta say. And then when we were going to Florida, you were in your seat and I had to be at work in the back alley. And it was so turbulent again. You came back and you're like, that was kind of scary. And I like held on to people. I was so scared during that one. And going back to the Mauritius one, the plane started like in the screen going like in all directions. And you're like, what the hell's going on? Like, why is it like spasming? But yeah, that was that. I think that was the scariest. How about you? You had the one when you're going to Italy and you guys had to... Like you were almost gonna crash into
I don't know if it was Italy, but yeah, it was some fly when...
You were going to Italy.
Yeah, so okay. So the aircraft has this function that in case they would... they were about to crash to each other, one aircraft will go to the right, another to the left, right? I mean, yeah. If you can explain it somehow.
They're gonna dodge each other.
Yeah, they're gonna dodge each other, that one will turn to the right and up, let's say, and another one left and down. So they will avoid each other. That's what happened to me. That's pretty scary. One more thing was Toronto fly, when the guy tried to open the door mid-fly.
You never told me that.
I did.
Oh my god, I don't remember that.
But in the end, he just got confused, like Alzheimer or something like that, so yeah. We had to restrain him, or we avoided it, I don't know, right now.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think he got just the final warning. And then some medical cases, like once I had a medical case that looked really like exorcism. It was funny, it was like emergency seat, and the row in the cabin, I mean, the row in front of the emergency seat in the next cabin, they were like with the crosses praying, and the girl behind them is like, ooh, exorcism.
That's weird.
Yeah, that was funny. I mean, that was scary, but yeah.
For me, we were landing into Seychelles, and you know how that landing is.
Yeah.
So much crosswind. All of a sudden, the plane, it's landing, and we're all like, yeah, Seychelles, and then boom! It just like hit the ground out of like the sky. Like it didn't do a landing like this. It was like, so everyone, like all the passengers got up, and I was just like, cool, yeah, that's perfectly normal. But yeah, that was bad. Yeah. And then we had one landing in Hong Kong where this was the captain's fault. He was being tested, or the FO, and he landed so hard that like all the drawers and cupboards and whatever, yes, they all just exploded open and everything fell out. Luckily, nobody was injured. And then for me, Beijing, flying back to Dubai, we had a rejected landing. So we were landing. My two, like, flight deck captain and FO, they were like wild. I think the captain was a little more wild and risk-taking than the FO. The captain obviously has been doing this for a long time. So he was kind of like, I don't know, he was just shooting the shit all the time. And he was landing, and then all of a sudden, I'm like seated at MR1. So I'm looking at the window, and I'm seeing we're landing. I'm like, thank God this hell flight is almost over. It was a horrible flight. I got punched in the back. And we're landing, and all of a sudden, going back up. And I'm like, oh, for the love of God, what the hell? And we're, what is it, circling?
Holding
for like 2 hours. and finally land, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And they couldn't talk about it, obviously. But I have a feeling that, well, the FO just said, oh, we were landing too early. But, like, how do you get the go to land from ground control? And then all of a sudden it's too early? You can't land until someone gives you the go. Actually, no. We had a captain who took off before a go, like a green light. So we weren't even done securing the cabin, and he just took off. And people were like, all the crew were holding on to people in seats, and I think he got reported for that. So I think that's what I'm gonna leave it at. There were a few more other crazy ones, but those were the bigger ones. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, what's the next question, darling?
Did you meet anyone famous? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. The president of Slovakia.
Oh, yeah.
And?
That's it, no?
I'm pretty sure you had others. Michael Hearn, Nimai Delgado.
I thought on board.
Well, yeah, and then on layovers. They're famous. They
Yeah,
count.
layovers, yeah, sure.
So who?
Well, Andrej Kiska, the former president of Slovakia, that was in flight or on board.
He was so honored.
And then some people on the layovers, like Michael Hearn, Nimai Delgado, Callum Van Moger. I think that's pretty much it.
For myself, yeah, it was Mariah Carey, Akon. I met him in Dubai. We were like this far. I think there's pictures of him on Facebook, and he was just staring at me, and I was so drunk that I was just looking at him, and I'm like, don't say anything stupid. So, like, it looked like he was waiting for me to say something, but I was just like, don't do it, Natalia. So I'm just staring at the guy, and he's like, all right, this girl's not okay. And he just walked away. And then there was that same night, this, like, I think Australian curly-haired chef guy. He was there with his whole crew. We went up and danced with him. He sells books, like cooking books. I don't know what his name is, but if I ever see the book, I'll let you guys know, and like I'll get his name. And then Mariah Carey in LA, and then on board there was one incident we had where we were flying somewhere in the Middle East, and Janet Jackson's baby daddy, he was flying there. We were on the 777, so he was all the way up in the front in first class, and we had a remote stand, and he had, you know, priority to leave first. So I stepped down on the remote stand to, like, you know, guide the passengers off and, like, point to which bus they need to take. So I was the first one out of the plane, and then I didn't see him leaving, but I saw already, like, the private car drive up to the plane. I think I was about to leave to go down to the end of the remote stand. I'm really forgetting the series of events, but I just turned to the crew, the supervisor, and I'm like, oh, who are they picking up? She's like, oh yeah, you didn't know? Janet Jackson's baby daddy is on this flight. So I guess it was a flight where he didn't want people to know, like it was very private, so people weren't talking about it, or else, you know, I would have known by the end of the flight, like I did with Russell Peters going into Toronto. Everybody was talking about Russell Peters being on a flight, but that's because he was very welcoming and open to taking pictures with people. So I went up just to go see him. I did like a circle in first class. I'm like, oh my god, it's him. And then my colleague from first class was like, take a picture with him. I'm like, I don't even have my phone on me. He's like, hey, I'll take it with my phone. Go, go, go. I'm like, I don't want to bother him. Like, he's chilling, you know? I just felt weird. And he's like, no, take it. You're going to regret it. Sorry. So I went down and, no, actually I was about to leave. And he's like, already with Russell. And he's like, come take a picture with him. He said it's okay. I'm like, okay. I'm like, sorry. Like, looking at him. And he's like, it's okay. And then I take it and I look at him. I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, I was so starstruck. I'm like, it was such an honor to meet you. And then I ran away. And then later my crew, the colleague, came up to me. He's like, I got it. Here it is. What's your number? I'll send it to you. By the way, he called you a bonita. And I was like, what does that mean? And I Googled it and I'm like, oh damn, he called me a bonita. So that was cool. That was neat. So we're done?
Yeah.
This one's gonna be fun.
Weirdest thing a passenger asked you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta think about it.
Yeah.
So weirdest thing, the first thing was
Bata.
oh, that's like totally normal. But one thing was that after, oh, did you get this? Where if you were landing after like a 14-hour flight, people would be like, so are you going back now?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you're kidding, right? Like I just had a 24-hour day and you're gonna ask if I'm gonna fucking do that again without a rest. That was so stupid. But a serious one that I thought was weird was after a flight, I think it was going into New York, I had a passenger seated in front of me and he was just like so like chatty, and I don't know, I felt like he was, a lot of the time they get friendly with you so they can ask you for favors and stupid shit. So I'm like, oh, it was one of those. And I came back from my break. He's like, yeah, you guys have beds, right? Like you guys get to like lay down and rest. I'm like, yeah. I just finished my break. And he's like, all right, so like you think I can go and like can you give me your bed? And I laughed, like thinking it was a joke. He's like, so like when can I go? And I'm like, no, like that's not how it works. You paid for a seat. Yeah. And I'm working, so I get the bed, and that's gross. Can you imagine letting a passenger into the freaking designated crew sleeping area? Like, what was this guy thinking? That was probably the weirdest thing. You?
For me, I don't know. I don't think I had something like crazy weird. It was usually just stupid stuff, like you have something on the menu and they want something completely different. It's like, you think I can order Uber Eats and get you fries or get you hamburger? No, we don't have a chef. And yeah, the same stuff, like when we run out of the meal option, they are like, but you can find something for me, right? You can cook for me. No, I can't cook for you. We don't have a kitchen.
Microwaved.
Yeah, so other than that, I don't think I had anything crazy, or I just forgot, because, you know, you land and you don't want to think about the fly anymore.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next. That is so funny. Did anyone hit on you?
So, Natalia, did anyone hit on you?
I know. We were on the same flight one time. I think this was after you proposed, coming back from Rome.
Oh, that little Asian lady.
With their wig.
They weren't hitting on me.
Everyone always called him Superman on flights, but this little Asian lady just really pushed her limits. Like, I was ready to go over and be like, stop touching my man. She kept cuffing his bum and squeezing it. So, yeah, pinching it. Oh, she looked so innocent too. Like, oh, hi, you know, like, but she was a cheeky one.
Yeah.
So that one I'm aware of.
Other than that, I would just say, like, crew traveling as a passenger. I guess. You remember your friend?
I have her own Facebook. I have her own Facebook.
No, I don't mean just one single incident, right?
Okay.
But other than that, like, probably crew I was working with, I don't know, I'm kind of slow in this department, so I, like, usually when I came on board, I'm like, yeah, I'm married, engaged, girlfriend, whatever.
Such a bad move. That attracts them even more.
I was talking about her the whole time, so
taken men.
I didn't really even pay attention to some other vibes or whatever. Vibes?
Oh, vibes. Like wives.
Yeah.
You're calling these girls wives.
What about you?
Me being hit on?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, don't lie to me. Come on.
I do remember one guy going into LA. He looked so weird. He was like, he looked like Andy Warhol, if you can imagine that, mixed in with some kind of like scientist. And funny enough, the whole flight he tried catching me. This is before I met you, I think. No,
Yeah, sure.
no, I did meet you because I went to
Yeah,
LA when I
there we
already
go,
started
there we
talking
go.
to you. So he would always like catch me and make me like sit down and listen to his bullshit. And basically, he was just like trying to impress me that he discovered the cure to cancer. And I had to be like, what? He's like, yeah, so if you give me your email, I can actually send you a lot of my, you know, findings and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Then some FO knocked on her door, right?
No,
Or
stop
captain.
it.
What was
FO.
it? And yeah,
But that happens like normally with every girl.
she's.
Tell me a girl that doesn't have this happen to her.
I don't know. I don't care about other girl, but she's slow as well. Like every time she starts talking about some crew, like yeah, they are cool, blah blah blah. On the fly back, when they find out she has a fiance or husband, they stop talking to her. So yeah, I don't even think you can answer this question because you're just like everyone's friend.
Yeah.
And every
It doesn't
time I
always
was
have
like,
to be
no,
weird
they
like that.
don't want to be a friends, Natalia. No, they don't want to. And yeah, usually when they find out about me, conversation over.
Yeah, they get so mean too.
Yeah, so
Like
no one hit on you. No one hit on her,
No, they
yeah.
didn't. Okay, before I met you, there were always
Yeah.
guys that like at the end of the flight, like one little like Indian guy. I think I kept all the business cards and notes just because, you know, it's a memory.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. She was so bad with saying no. So everyone who asked her number got her number. I was so mad
'Cause
at
it's
the beginning.
easier. Because you have no idea.
But not even fake number, just totally honest. This is my number.
Because I didn't think I was gonna answer them, and I didn't. I wouldn't answer
No,
them.
she blocked them straight away if they were.
It was so easy to do that rather than in their face be like, no.
But then you had that one
heartbreaking-
stalker, remember?
No.
The guy who saw on the Instagram where...
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, this guy. But that was outside of my building in
So,
Garhoud.
same thing. You
He
didn't
was
say
in
no.
his dish dash, like completely like sunglasses, cross-legged. It was Easter. I just went to like a mass, and it was inside a hotel, but it was like a Christian mass. I'm Catholic, so it was like way too different. Like they were playing on the guitar. It was like gospel kind of. So I was like, not my scene. So I just like within minutes left. And it was weird. There was like food there too. It was just weird that it was all on stage and there was like a rock band like singing this religious stuff. And I was like, no, okay, I see the difference in Christianity and Catholicism now. Anyway, so I was walking into my building in my church clothes, and he stopped me and started talking to me, and I gave him my number because he was nice, and he's like, have a happy Sunday, and I'm like, thank you. And yeah, later he started talking to me on WhatsApp, and I ignored him, and then he found me on Instagram and was like, why are you ignoring my WhatsApp messages? You are like disgraceful, this and that. Like he was so mean to me, so I just blocked him everywhere. But then I saw him at Lifco. Did I tell you that? Like months later, I was behind him in line or in front of him. He's like, I know you. And I was like, really? Like thinking he's from a flight. And he's like, yes. I met you outside of your building. And I was like, oh, I got so scared. I'm like, oh yeah, grabbed my shit. I was in front of him and left. Like it was so scary. So, yeah.
So yeah,
Lesson
don't
learned.
give out the number unless you're serious.
Yeah. But it's so much
It took a
easier.
few more tries, but yeah.
It's so
In the
much
end, she
easier.
got it.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. When I started talking about you, it went from them, like, you know, being helpful, giving me a helping hand, to, like, being so mean to me. So I'm like, look. Yeah, you were the reason I got in trouble with people.
Oh, yeah.
They were mean to me because of you. Anyways, let's go and move on. Do you want to read it? Or? Okay, you take this one.
What was the most fun layover you've had?
Ooh, you go first.
No, you're going first. I'm reading questions.
Okay, the most fun layover? I think LA. Jeez, these are like copy-paste answers. But really, I had such a cool crew. I met Mariah Carey that one LA layover, and then the second layover, it was just like me and like 3 other people, and we just went out to dinner that night, and it was at Newport Beach. It was so chill. Yeah, we got really drunk. And then the next day, me and one of the girls, she was a French Moroccan living in Paris. She was very cool. Her name was Marijuana. We went to Universal Studios, so that was lots of fun. We had dinner at that shrimp place. The one that's Gimby's or something, named after Forrest Gump. Gumpies? Yeah. We just went to dinner there after, and yeah, it was just fun. I think that was my most. I think I had, Sweden, that one was another good layover, where we went to like a Viking barbarian restaurant.
What about Miami?
Oh yeah. Any layover with Michael was really fun.
not forced at all. Okay.
I'm getting there, I guess. Sorry, I'm saving the best for last.
Okay.
But yeah, the barbarian restaurant, the Viking one, that one was so cool. I was still a meat eater at that time, so like the meat that they brought you, it looked like something you would hunt down. Like it was massive, and they had Polish mead, which was impressive. So yeah, it was a really cool. And then we had like a snowball fight on the way back to the hotel. So
wait.
it was like my first snowfall since moving back to Dubai.
How do you have Polish meat?
Polish mead, like the alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was just so impressed that that was even mentioned in the menu. But in Europe, Poland is pretty hot. It's a hot comedy. And what else? Yeah, layovers with you were awesome. We went to Florida together, Seychelles together, Mauritius. Did we have? Yeah, we did. But we didn't hang out together then.
No.
But what else did we have?
Nice.
Nice. That was very nice. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Very romantic. And yeah, I think that's all for me. I feel like I had a lot of fun layovers. Oh, anything in Asia was like, anytime you were traveling out to Asia, you had a crew that was ready to party. Going to Europe, people were kind of like ready to just do things on their own. And like, it was typically groceries, and you know, they just like didn't mind traveling alone in Europe. But when you were going to Asia, everybody was in on a group hangout, and it was usually lit. So I think Vietnam was my favorite layover. We got really drunk there. The captain, he like was a regular customer to Vietnam, so he knew all the bars. He took us to the one backpacking street where it's like all the tourists hang out. I think I ended up going home at like 5:30 in the morning, like the hotel, and then the flight was like in a few hours, so I don't know how we got away with that, but it was such an amazing layover. So many bars, so much dancing, so much shit that I didn't want to see happen that night. How about you? Did you answer?
No, you didn't give me a chance.
Alright, sorry, I had a lot of fun layovers.
Yeah, you named like every single layover you had. Well, for me, probably Orlando, Universal Studios. That was amazing.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
Then LA. Pretty much all of them, but the first one was a little bit special because I got to meet Michael Hearn, and it was my first time going to Gold's Gym. And my last
Michael
LA.
Hearn has a crush on him.
He's
still thirsty for you.
And my last LA, I
He's
saw.
sending you hearts on Instagram.
I saw Nimai Delgado.
Yeah, that's cool.
Callum
Von
Moger. So
cool.
yeah, that was nice as well. I didn't get to take a picture with them, but even seeing them in the gym was great. Other than that, New York, my first New York was amazing. Seeing the Statue of Liberty,
Oh yeah,
Times
that
Square,
was so
all
cute.
of that.
You kept sending me photos of that layover.
Boston,
I'm so proud.
hanging out with squirrels in the park. That was great.
He's a squirrel whisperer. He loves his squirrels.
And the Prague layovers were really nice as well, but it's more like a home, so it's not. It doesn't feel like layover. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's for me. So pretty much US and Prague.
Cool.
So
Did you?
yeah,
ever,
you can read it.
Did you ever get anything for free? Any hookups?
Hookup.
Like free hotels and.
No. I would say I got you for free, but that's not true.
What do you mean? Are you calling me? I don't get it. Okay. Check humor.
It wasn't that easy.
That's what I have to say. I
How about
hope
you?
it wasn't that easy, because whatever comes easy is usually not that great. And whatever comes hard is usually great.
I don't think it.
There's that Bob Marley saying,
I don't think it applies for relationships.
Yeah, it's about relationships. If you get a girl that's easy, she's not that great. If the girl is not easy, then she's pretty damn great.
But it depends what you get for easy. If we're talking about relationships, you don't want to break up 10 times.
No, that's something different. You
No,
don't get it.
that means that it wasn't easy, right?
Anyway.
Whatever. So did you get
Yeah,
anything for free?
a magnet and a Hershey kiss.
Ooh, yeah, like stuff on board. I got that as
one
well.
guy came on the flight. This was going to Moscow.
No one hit on her.
Well, he was there with his wife and kid. And he was like, "Look, I'm gonna need a lot of alcohol, so just keep it coming." And this was all in a Russian accent. I think he was from Kazakhstan, but yeah, he asked me, and I'm like, "Damn, okay, yeah, like, I'm your girl." So I just kept the booze flowing, and at the end, he's like, "Thank you so much, Natalcha. Here's a magnet and some Hershey kisses." And I was like, "Oh, so cute, so adorable." And then the air marshal.
Yep, I remember that one.
I forget where I was flying, but it was definitely from the US to somewhere in Europe. I think it was multi-sector, and there was an air marshal who was flying for leisure, like leisure purposes, and he just came and we started talking, and I was like, "Oh my god, your job is amazing." He couldn't talk much about it, but yeah, he gave me a magnet, and I put it in my purse, and I put it in my purse so that I could just leave it outside of the security boxes in hotel rooms, because I didn't want to bother with the codes, because I kind of feel like there's a code that can just hack all of the codes. Anyways, I put it in my purse where I usually kept my cash and credit card, so that people who were trying to steal something or on the roll of doing it would see this pin and be like, "Oh fuck, I don't want to mess with her. She's an air marshal." So that was my way to deter people from doing that. So, have you thought of something? Did you get anything for free?
No, I don't think so. Just like the normal stuff the crew brings on board.
Yeah,
Nothing
so talk
else.
about that. Crew would bring chocolates and stuff when they were traveling to spoil us and thank us for our work. It was so nice.
But
And
you're
then
vegan and you cannot eat it.
Or yeah, it was like the jelly foods, the sour keys and stuff like that, which is also made out of animal gelatin, joints and all that. So we had to pass on those. But the gesture was kind, so.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
And I do it to this day. Like, if I fly, I'll always bring some goodies for the flight attendants. I remember when I did it for Air Canada, they were so confused. They're like, they didn't even like acknowledge it. I'm like, okay, yeah, they say Canadians are nice. Anyway.
Air Canada.
There's no more questions, right?
Nope. That was our last one.
So we're done. Hope you enjoyed our vlog number 6. I don't know what I'll do for my next one, but it will be here shortly. Enjoy this one till then. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.